Right, trail clearing, same trail, day 2, just going further. But there's a lot further up to go today. I cleared out a whole bunch. There was a whole bunch on this trail before. This is the Boundary Peak Trail in Kananaskis, and it takes up trail 75 if you look in the Kananaskis guides. 75. Now I'm trying to keep the camera still because people have said to me when I film early in the morning, because it's not quite sun up yet, the video is very shaky, which it is. And unfortunately, I use a GoPro 10 black, and it's one of those things in slightly dim light. It does tend to judder a bit. So I will not do very much recording at this first bit until the sun comes up. But my bridge is still there. We will head down this way because I know there's a whole bunch more willow and that to clear out down here, and alder and stuff. So I will get on with that and try and do a bit of video once the sun comes up. Right, I'm a fair ways down the trail. I'm just going to film this bush. Matt, the guy that did this trip there the other week, when he came past here a few weeks back, this was covered in berries. It no longer is. Which means only one thing. Our big fuzzy friends with the murder mittens are up in here somewhere. But I haven't seen any bear scat. Absolutely none. Cleared off a whole bunch more alder on the way. And this is exactly what I do on these trips. I just bring my little nippers with me. And then as I see bits, I cut them out. Can't cut it all out in one go. That would just be too much. Like that little piece there. I'm just going to trim that off. But the mountains are starting to come into view out there. But the sun will come over and we get some better video. Well, last time I was here, I didn't tackle this one. Because that actually shrunk down a bit. Yeah. Huh. It's collapsed a little bit more. Oh well. What I might do on the way back, I'll see how much energy I've got, because I've got quite a long way to go yet. I'll see if I've got enough energy on the way back. I might shift that one out of there. Right, I'm just going to head down out of the forest, down out of this way, and there's a lot more alder up here, so I shall carry on clearing out some of that. Well, I'm at the next creek crossing, and that bit I cleared out the other side there has come up really good. A couple more small bits on the right hand side there. But I took a whole chunk out of there the other day because it was grown right over. It was almost a tunnel. Yeah, that looks much better. So this is all it takes on the trail. You know, you walk up and down a trail twice, and it really does make a difference. Yeah, right, on I go. Right, I'm just going to film this piece. You just come across that last creek crossing as I just did, and a few yards up in the bush. There used to be a really prominent Y junction here. The way you want to go is you want to turn right here, and I'll show you why in a second. But the trail always looked as it went straight on, so all the stuff that I've cut off I've laid on that trail there, because that is not the way you want to go. What you want to do is turn right here, because it looks like it goes nowhere, but this is actually the trail. Isn't this much better? But this is hard to miss, this piece. As you come up through here, you want to stay to the right of the creek that's in here. Now, this is the bit I'm going to see if I can improve, because I put a trail piece there the other day. So where you want to go is basically straight up across the middle of this and up that way. Everybody sees the creek and they see that junction and they think, oh, I've got to be the other side of the creek. Stay this side of the creek if you can. And it's I'm going to find a better route up through here and see if I can mark it a little bit better. I know there's a little crossing up here I've got to go over, but I'll see what I can find. That bank over there is dry. So there used to be a little animal trail along that bank over there. I'm just going to take a walk over there and see if it's still there. If it is, I might do a little detour here, but we'll see what I can find. Right, so I've just come across the swamp that way. Fortunately, the sun is coming up now, so it will dry a lot of this out. There used to be a little bit of a track along the side of here. I can still see bits of it, but it's so badly messed up in there now because they did a bunch of logging up there, that I will try and clean this up a little bit on the way back. This marshy bit here at the bottom is a pain in the rear end. Yeah, I'll see what I can do to clean it up a touch. Once you get to here, the trail starts to become obvious. I can see blazes on trees and branches have been cut off and what have you. So I will clean up some of this and head on my way. Now that's quite the pile. This piece was in one heck of a mess. Couldn't even see the trail through here. That's going to look at the ground to even see where it was, but got a hole through the willow now. So just The trouble is this stuff grows so bloody fast. I'll do some more on the way down. I cleared out all this through here. Oh my good God. Got another pile there. But at least that bit you can see now. Once you get some foot traffic through it, you'd be surprised how quickly it clears up. Yeah. Right, I will continue on up this way until I meet the bottom of the ridge. I'll just come that way and pack off for a while. I bought both saws today. That's why I didn't clear out some of those big trees. So I've bought the big boy with me today. That's the 500. One bit of deadfall here. It was still attached by the root, so I tried to pull it round, but it wouldn't, so I just cut that one off. Slung the other bit over there. Right, I'm going to continue on up here. Looks like I've got loads of all the squished and dead and messed up or what have you just coming up, so let me see what I can do. So that's something I don't like to find when I'm in the middle of nowhere. That's the third pile of bear crap I've seen down in here now. So somewhere in here there is a bear, so I am making a lot of noise. I have completely and utterly lost this trail. I know what I should be looking for, but I should be looking for a ridge, and by my reckoning I should have come across that ridge by now. I'm going to go down this way a little ways. I'm not sure where this will end up, but I'll go this way for a bit and see what I can find. Right, 3 piles of bear crap and some bear scrapings on the trees there, bear scratchings. Right, there's a clear piece over on there where they cut the trees, and I don't remember seeing that on the map. I'm not convinced I'm going the correct way. I'm going to go down this way for a little ways and see what I can find, but because I've never been down here, so let's go see what I can find. But I haven't found any human markers whatsoever, not one. Here we have more bear crap, and a bit further over here there's some more, and the squirrels go nuts. Wake, rise and shine. Cannot find this trail. I know I should be heading up a ridge, and all I'm doing is heading down a hole. There we go, more bear crap. Yeah, I'm just heading down into a hole. That's no good. Yeah. Wake, rise and shine. The squirrels go nuts. Always listen when the wildlife starts that crap. Wake, rise and shine. Right, I'm going to head that way. I'm heading straight into the sun. Unfortunately, I can't see. There are trails down that way by the hundreds, and there's a bone hanging in the tree here. This is as far as I got. There's a bone hanging in the tree, and there is one piece of flagging over here. There is a very faint trail, which I cannot believe people are using and not marking, or there's not a single, if you follow this track all the way down through there, there's a path that looks like a trail, but there's not a single broken stick, there's not a single bit of flacking, there's no piles of rocks, there's absolutely nothing down through there whatsoever. Yeah. But there are 3, and I've noticed, I don't remember seeing the 4th, but there is a 4th pile of bear crap down there. And I came back up there, I'm bloody sure that wasn't there when I went down. So I am convinced there is a bear in here somewhere. And the squirrels were just going nuts. So that's usually a good clue that there's something around. I've been making lots and lots of noise, but there was one pile of bear crap down there that was actually still looked wet to me. So and I don't remember seeing that one on the way in. So, oh well. So this is as far as I got. As I was just saying in my last piece of video, this is how easy it is to get it wrong. Right. The trail I followed was down that way because I saw a little bit of orange flagging, and then I was just about to get ready to go home because I thought, oh well, sod it, I'll go home. And I was stood here, and over through the trees over there I spotted a tiny bit of flagging. There's another piece in there, I can see it. Right, so when you come along this route, oh boy, this was easy to miss. So I'm going to do a good bit of video here so you see it. I'm going to mark this up really well. Right, so you come this way up here. I've just put an offcut. There was a big offcut hanging over here at head height, so I've just put the offcut in the piece of trail that looks deceptive. And where you're going to go is down over here. Bit of deadfall in here, I'm afraid. Then you're going to cut back on yourself. You're going to cross the creek, and if you look in the distance, see that orange? Somebody's marked it up in there. I'm going to make a better job of putting some more tape in there and what have you. Well done, whoever that was. I know I was just bitching about the people not leaving tape, but trust me, whoever you were, thank you very much. So across there, and I just found the actual trail that goes up the ridge. So I'm just going to mark this corner up way better than it is. And then, yes, I'm going to head up that way. Wow. I just about ready to turn around and head out of here, and I thought, you know what, let me have one more look around. And sure enough, one tiny little bit of tape over through the trees there. Thank you very much, whoever that was, very much appreciated. See, the problem is you get to here, right, this is where the trail comes up, and I suspect the original trail, because it comes up here, I know 100% this is the trail. But if you look, we've got 3 or 4 deadfall across there, and that is actually where the trail used to go. So it comes up here a little way, does a slight detour around here. There's even a blaze on the tree over there. Look at that. I missed that one. I missed it. Wow. Yeah, I do this stuff all the time and I still missed it. Holy crap. Right, so either way, get to here. I'm going to clean this corner up a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. Over these trees, over there, and then I'm going to head up the hill. Wow, amazing. Absolutely amazing. Made my day. That's how deadfall can be a pain. I would love to clear that out, and I could because I've got my big saw with me, but see that big tree there? Dead as a dodo, leaning up against some other two. I can see it now. There's a blaze on that tree. There's even a blaze on that tree. Holy crap, Batman. Right, so you come around the corner, yeah, and there's a little muddy creek, and when I get here, it's absolutely full of footprints. Now that is a good sign. Got a nice little log over on this side. Let's cut across here. Loads of markers up in here. Look at this. Yeah. This is why it's important to do this stuff, because you come up through here, you know the way. Mark it, and then idiots like me will come up here, and on there, I took a day off work to come out and do this today, so I will come out here, and this should be, if my mental map is correct, I knew I was going the wrong way, because I was heading down a ridge that went that way, which was heading dead west, and I know I do not need to go dead west. Yeah, so I had my mental map. I don't bring an actual physical map with me. Basically, as you get older, your eyesight goes to shit, and the GPS things with a compass on are definitely the way to go. However, I don't have one of those. What I do is I memorise an entire route, every mountain, every ridge, every creek, everything all along it. So I knew I'd gone wrong. I was off down that valley, off down there. Incidentally, that's a very nice valley down through there. I was off down through that valley, and it was getting denser and denser, and there was 4 piles of bear crap, which was a good reason for me to turn around anyway. But I could not find a single solitary human mark whatsoever, and I now know why, because that ain't the trail. See, look, that's what I was looking for. Cut-ins. Oh, I see some deadfall. Now I can actually get some bloody work done. Oh, well, that was a bugger to find. Yeah, there was 3 pieces of deadfall. There's a nice blaze on the tree up there. Well done. Yeah. Right, I might just head up to the meadows then, because the meadows are up this way a little ways. I might just head up to the meadows and do some pictures from up there, because I'll get a view from it. Go. That was a valley I was heading down, that one, and I know I was swinging round to the north, and that would have taken me, where would I have come out? Halfway down towards the Lusk connector, I guess, out the back of Baldy. I came out through some trees. I got up in a clearing, and down that way I could actually see Mount Baldy. So I knew 100% I was wrong, but I couldn't find the beginning of the trail, and it was buried under a whole bunch of deadfall. So now I found it. I can head up the ridge away. This is what I was looking for. Excellent. On I go. Right, and a bone pile. Lots of bones. Not sure what that was. Pretty big, whatever it was. And I think that's its head up there. So yeah. Whew. Cleared off loads and loads of this little small deadfall. Thank goodness it's small deadfall. Right, gonna head up there. I'll be heading up a grass bank here in a mo, and I'll get some views from the top. And I think that's as far as I'm going. Oh boy, that's some alder. Right, so this just sounds to me like a good excuse to get the pack off. The trail that goes that way is just as bad, so I'm just going to get into this a little bit with the nippers, and I'll do a before and after. Right, let me get at it. Well, it's got the brush pile. Right, so that bit there is a bit clearer. Can't clear it right back. If I had a brush cutter I could, but I don't have one, so I'm not going to. So what I do is I nip out enough to make the trail blatantly obvious again. I'm going to work my way up that way, but I'm just going to nip as I go because the day's getting on and I need to get a move on. Right, so I've shown people this before. There's a compass pointing north and there's the sun up there, right? So if the sun was dead south, it would be midday. So it's about an hour to midday, so it's about 11 o'clock at the moment. And I've got a considerable distance to go back. And there's a whole bunch of stuff down here that I need to cut out. But I think I might call this it. This over same. People have heard me a lot of times. This is where it turns and starts going uphill quite steep here. So I think this is where I will draw the line and start heading back down that way. Get all this lot back on. Start heading back down that way. Cut out a whole bunch more of this alder and some of these small trees here that are across the trail, and head back and see what I can find. Right, on I go. Right, heading back down the trail. So my main reason for coming up here today was to mark the trail, so I knew exactly where it was, and everybody that had come up here complained about the alder, so I have cleared out an insane amount of alder. I don't even know how much alder I've cleared out of here. Piles and piles and piles of it. Yeah, I've cleared off quite a bit of deadfall as well, so the smaller stuff, so that's good. Every bit off the trail is another bit. I say it'd be a good idea people carry one of these in their pack. Right, we're back to the skull and bones. Yeah, people carry a little pair of nippers in their pack every time they find a really tight piece and just nip a couple of bits off. Where can we rise and shine? Okay, I've got something just down the forest just in front of me down here making a lot of noise. Right, hang on, let me put this away. So I'm back down the bottom of the ridge section, and people come through, they might say, holy crap, there's a lot of tape on there. Not a lot of tape. What I've done is I've picked up all the bits. That's a nice handhold right there. Nice log and a nice handhold. Picked up all the broken bits I found laying on the ground. I'm going to leave a whole bunch of really obvious footprints in the mud. So the trail would have gone straight through there, but that's two pretty big trees that I really don't want to be touching. There's another big leaner up in there too. Don't want to touch those. So, oh dear, sneeze coming. Hang on. Oh dearie me. Woo. So I cleared the alder off this corner because it made it difficult to see. So I've picked up all the bits of tape that I could find laying on the ground, and there was actually a considerable number of them, and I tied them up. I put a few obvious human marks on there, but these trees that are down in here, unless somebody comes down in here with a big chainsaw, because I ain't moving these, look at the size of them. Yeah. So what you do, come up here, around here, and then down through there. Easy, isn't it? Yeah. Right. Well, put it this way, it's easy once you know. If these trees weren't down across here, it'd be an absolute doddle, but unfortunately the trees are here. So so as soon as you come across there, you can see it in the next bit of there, and you can see all the bits of tape up through the trees over that way. So yes, a little bit of a detour. Yeah, it shows you how a few bits of deadfall can throw you right off. Yeah, I almost missed those pieces over through there as well, almost. So I put a bit of tape on this corner, and all the bits that I found I've tied on the tree as well. So to leave no trace, people are going to have an absolute conniption fit. They'll get out here, they'll see that lot and go, oh my god, yeah, fall on the ground and drop dead. Right, so the trail that went the wrong way, which I suspect a lot of people have done, went that way. So what I've done is I've piled a whole bunch of bits. There was a piece hanging over here that was kind of getting in the way of this trail as well. So I cut all those off, piled up all the ends on there, and yeah, so that's the way you go. It's very well marked now. Once you get to here, if you look over there through the trees, it's blatantly obvious you can actually see the tape. Yeah, I have no idea how I missed that. Well, I do, too much deadfall. And there was a well-trodden trail that way. So I do know where that goes now, and that has answered a question that had been in my mind for some time, because I know the bears come up through here a lot, and I know to cross the two valleys there's only two routes they can go, and I know they don't go down the main trail because you don't see much bear crap down there, very little. But I saw 4 lots of bear crap up there, 3 when I came, And then one, as I was coming back up the valley, because I went the wrong way, there was another pile, and that pile was very wet. Let's just put it that way. Yes, I don't think that had been on the ground very long. So, but it now does explain to me, because I know where they come out the far end of there. I know where that comes out. So that does explain to me how they get up through there. Yeah. Right, so I'm going to go down through here. I might need my nippers in my hands again, because if I remember rightly, there was a few bits to cut off down through here. And on my way. Excellent. Right, going that way. Bits like this. This is what I call a dilemma point. Because the old trail went through there, and there's just a couple of small pieces off here. I could cut those off of there quite easily and have the trail go back around there. Or I can cut all these big ones off of this rotten old log here. So, oh, this is a dilemma. Yeah, I know what's going to be the easiest one to cut. The easiest one to cut is going to be that one. So, yes. Okay, let me attack that and see what I can do. Ta-da! Job done. So, would it have been easier to move that great big log that's rot as hell and really hard to cut because it pinches the wood, or this stuff? So, just cut this one out. This is where the trail originally went. This is the original trail. But now a lot easier. Yeah. That's the piece I just cut out the middle. It's about 8 feet long, if that. That one there I'm not going to cut, because that's got a big heavy root ball on it, and cutting a tree with a heavy root ball on it is never fun. We can run and show it. I'm making lots of noise down through here. Yeah. Right. So I will continue down that way. That's where the bypass trail, somebody made a bypass trail around the tree root. But get it back on the trail. We are good to go for another however long it takes for the next one to fall down. Yeah. Right. Get this lot cleared up and get my pack on. Job done. Another hole cut. Perfect. On I go. Back down the trail. I'm now into the bit that everybody has trouble with, including me. Yeah. So I've got to figure out my way across here. The driest route. Now I have a piece of tape that I put up when I came in that tree there. See that red tree? Red bit of tape there. And I came straight across there. Right where I'm pointing now is where the creek piece is. So I'm going to make a direct straight line across the middle of this crap and see if I can make it any easier to get across here. Right, just to give you a heads up here, this piece here, this is the worst bit of this trail because there is no definitive trail through here. I can see this morning that's the way I went, and that's the way I've just come back. So two completely different routes. I have put a little bit of tape up across here. I tell you now, there is no dry way of getting across this piece. There is no dry land here, none. You can either cross the creek twice, and a couple of places in that creek the water's more than a foot deep, so you're going to get wet feet. Or you can come up this side and just generally head in that direction. When I went up there this morning, you'll find that this is actually the driest route up through here. There's a little bit of marshy crap in there, but if you cross the creek, it just means you've got to cross it twice. So you get wet feet crossing the creek, and the rocks in there are a little slippery. Or you can just work your way down through here. There is bits of tape I put up through here just to make it a little bit more obvious. But I know some people don't like tape, but whatever. See, some people cross here. But if you cross here, then you've got to cross again back up, and that side is just as wet as this side. The only problem is if you cross up that way, you tend to end up in a wetter piece. So you're actually better off coming this way. So literally, get to here where that crossing is, just head straight up through there, just pick a route and away you go. Yeah, that's what I tend to do. Right, and then you're going to head back into the trees over there. There is a little bit of marker tape over there I can see, so we'll head back over that way. Right, just to give you a heads up, when I come up through here, I don't actually cross this creek at all on this section. I stay to the right of the creek, and just there's a bit up here you've got to bushwhack through, but it's fairly easy, and it's spongy ground. There's water under there, but it's so easy to walk on, it's not funny. So I've put up a little bit of tape through there. Pick a route, whatever route you want, but where you're heading is that corner over there. So other than that, so now I get to walk back into the trees. Oh, this is so nice. Oh, this is so nice and cool in here. Yeah, I wish this whole section up here was like this. That'd be nice. Get off, mosquito. Yeah, that would be very nice indeed. Sadly, this little piece of extremely nice forest walk is very short-lived. It's easy to see now because I cleared out. This was all overgrown on the corner here, so I cleared all this out last week. That's way better. Yeah, because a lot of people would go wrong right here. This is a Y junction. Yeah, so they would go straight on because it looked like a well-trodden trail. You actually need to go that way. So when you get to this piece, turn right, bit of tape up through there, follow that, work your way across that boggy section. That boggy section is kind of a hit and miss. There's a million ways across it. There's no right way, no wrong way. Just as long as you end up at the other side of it in that corner, you went the right way. Right, on I go. This is how much difference a week makes. Look at that. It was way up past my ankles last week when I stood here. That piece come up quite nice. It's all cleared right out. My feet are super cool now, standing in here. Oh, the water around here never really gets much above about 7 degrees, even midsummer. Like right now, you think it would be like warm, but it's not. It's only about 7 degrees centigrade. Yeah. Oh, right. Oh yes. Oh, my feet feel so good now. Right, well that piece over there is all nice and clear. Excellent. Like I say, that boggy bit which is just up through there, just pick your way through it, whichever way you want to go. I have put some tape across there. If you want to go a different route, please do. There's no easy way across there. But if you follow the bits of tape, it will take you right into the corner where you need to go in, because it's easy to go too far up that boggy bit. And let's face it, the less time you can spend in the boggy bit, the better. So, right, I'm going to go back that way. The other day I came through here, I looked at this tree and I thought, shall I, shan't I? But I only had one saw with me there. So today, I have brought the big guy with me today. But I will get this set up. I'm going to see if I can get that out of there. It looks pretty hard wood. I didn't want to start cutting it with my small saw. I got my 2000 will cut that, no problem. But if I got it stuck last week, I'd have been in big trouble because I wouldn't have been able to move that tree. So right, let me get on with that and see what I can do. And that just shows you the power of the silky saws. I just cut through that. Took me 2 minutes, 3 minutes tops. Cut through that nice and slow. It's bloody hard wood. And as luck would have it, I only had to cut it once because I could spin that piece round. Can't believe that spun. Excellent. So that one's off the trail. This big saw is amazing. I mean, I have my normal 2000, which is what I use, I would say, for 99% of everything I do. I would say is done with the 2000. Because generally, big trees like the one it's leaning up against, that'd be kind of the biggest tree I'd ever want to move off a trail. I don't like moving them when they're big. I can cut them. I mean, that big silky saw is plenty capable of cutting them. It really is. You can handle some really big trees, that thing. However, cutting wood on your own out in the middle of nowhere, if anything happens, you know, safety first. So got that one off. That cut real nice, and in the end spun round. Nice. Made my day, that did. I thought I was going to have to cut that bugger twice, but you can see where it was laying, and I just picked this end up and pushed it, and she went down there. Perfect. Bit of gravity assist. Gravity is good sometimes. Keeps us stuck to the ground and helps trees fall downhill. Perfect. Right, on I go. I pack all this crap up and on I go. Right. This tree was bugging me last time I came down here. Now you can go around it and step over it and what have you, but there's a very nice developed trail here. So if there was just happened to be a 3 or 4 foot gap in that log there, would be much better than fighting your way through all that crap around the side. So I do have my big saw with me today, so I'm going to give it a go. I'm not sure I can even get through this bloody thing. That's a hard tree, so let me give it a go and see what happens. Bypass trail covered over. I can honestly say that was a lot of work. That one didn't take me a couple of minutes, that took me about 10 minutes. But, that's hardwood. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's there are tree rings in that. That must be 100 years old, that tree. Easily. That's probably 100 rings there, easy. Yeah. I can tell you now, the log I cut out, I normally like to put the pieces of wood across the bypass trail, so the bypass trail went around that way, so that's covered over now. And yeah, it came down with a bang, that one. That literally took me about 5 minutes to cut through this end, and about 10 minutes to cut through that end. So all in all, about 15 minutes to cut that, look. Holy crap. And that's heavy wood too. Holy, isn't it just? Right. So we'll just do a little bit more tidy up here. Get rid of these mosquitoes and I shall head back, which is that way. Right, on I go. And this is why trimming up little bits as you go really does make a difference. Because the other day when I came down here, you could hardly see this crossing. It was so overgrown. And now it clears the bell. Yeah. And the other thing it is nice and cool. Oh. This one's a little deeper here. Yeah. This one here it's over my ankle, so probably about 4 or 5 inches, I guess. But I can tell you now. What a great sound. How odd's that? I can tell you now. Your feet feel so good. So good. Yeah. So normal hiking boots, unless you really don't mind getting your feet wet, it's actually extremely hard to do that. But in welly boots, it's not. Right, it's much clearer over that way now. Nice down through there. Right, there's a bit more willow and what have you up in this way, a bit more alder. So I'm going to clear that out and head back. Right, here I am back to here. Whew, just cut a whole bunch more of that willow through there. That's the secret. Every time you go through, just cut off another little bit. Oh, that was a heavy log the other day. You know, I cut this one through last week, and I'm glad I did because I wouldn't have the energy to cut it now. Yes, that was a heavy little log, that one. Yes, right. So, just back up through here. We get back onto the main trail. And I'll show you where that turn off is. I don't think I put it in that video the other week. See, this is bypass trails for you. See, this is a bypass trail that somebody made to go around all the deadfall that was here. I cleared out all this deadfall here the other day and turned one bit of it into my bridge. Yeah. Yes. The piece I cut off, this was all debris and what have you. The piece I cut off is that piece that's in there. That was the bridge. It came right across here, so I thought, because everybody had started making a path around it, and that's what people do with deadfall, they just go around it. So I try to clear it as much as I can. There are some bits that I can't do. It's like this piece. I could cut it. I know I could, but I'm now so tired. I've walked a long way in welly boots. I'll work out the distance when I get home and put it on the thing. But it's a lot of work when you're bending over all the time and cutting out bits of trees and stuff. What I can say is I am very glad that I built my little bridge. Been there a whole week and it hasn't fell down yet. Look at that. Perfect. And that's not much of a bridge, but it works. It's only 11 feet. So look how much that water's gone down. That rock that's in the middle there that you can see, that's the one that everybody jumps on. Don't, because it is slippery. That rock is really slippery, which is why I decided to put that bridge across there, because that just makes it a little bit easier for everybody. Yeah, right. So I'm going to untie my feet. Back up this hill. I'll show you where it comes onto the main trail. This is a little offshoot trail. This one's easy to miss if you don't know where it is. So I'll put this on the video and show you where it is. Easy, isn't it? This trail I'm doing is Trail 75. It's the Boundary Peak, Kananaskis. Easy route from the north, actually. This is actually the easiest way up there. Yeah, believe it or not. I didn't go up and clear the forest, so yeah. I cleared this out the other day. This trail that I'm on now, this is actually part of the Trans-Canada Trail. The Polar Rocks on the corner and the log. That one didn't, that doesn't need to stay there. Let's move that off of there. Let's put that over there. There we go. Yes, so I cut this back the other day. So you can see it quite clearly. If you go that way, that's heading west. That will take you out towards the main Kananaskis area. Out towards, if you kept going that way, what's your next stop along there? Barrier Lake, I guess, would be your next stop along that route. But that connector, it's a long boring forest walk. Ironically, they did some clear cutting up in there and did some timber out of it, and you now actually get really good views as you go up there, ironically. Yeah, so that's the turn off to Trail 75. This is the way back. If you follow this back, it will take you back to Powder Face Trail. So that's your turn off right there. So I think I'll call that it for the moment and do some more bit further down the trail. Yeah, this is one of my favourite parts of this trail. A nice bridge. No creek to wade across, just a nice bridge. Yeah, it shows you the difference in the water though, doesn't it? Look at that. I came up here earlier in the year, you couldn't even see those rocks in the middle, it was just literally hammering through there. Now here we are later in the year. Look how clear that water is. Yeah, we have amazing mountain water, that is for sure. Look at that. Oh yes. Wouldn't want to drink it though. You'd want to make sure you purified that before you drank it. Yeah. All this lot down through here, I cleared all this corner off here a few years back. Like I say, just going to cool my feet down a little bit. Oh, there we go. Oh, that is good. The deepest bit's that bit there. Yeah, the other week I came up through here, I say the other week, a few months back. Oh, yeah, there we go. Now I've got cold feet, that's good. Yeah. Yes, that is a good bridge. I like that bridge, that's well made, excellent. Yeah. Yes, wouldn't have been able to do this the other week, would have been over my boots. Yeah. Yes, I have to repair this once. I do keep a spade and what have you in the car. Oh, my feet are so cool now. It's nice. I do keep a spade in the car, and all this piece on this end, all of this, had started to cave in underneath. So I dug out a whole bunch of this crap up here, bucket and bucketfuls of it, and just poured it all back in there, and it seems to have stayed good. I put a bunch of big rock in there as well, just to stop it caving in. So, yeah. The approaches do settle after a while, so especially if we've had heavy rain and snow and stuff. Right, so the way back is down here. So this corner is really nice now. When I first came up here, you had to almost squeeze through the willows to get around here. But I cut them right back, literally way back. And as you can see, they've stayed pretty good. Yep. Still need to trim them every now and again, because that stuff grows fast. Right, goodbye bridge. Yeah. Not planning on coming up this end of this trail again for a while. So, yeah, that's a good bridge. It's done me well over the years, that has. Right, let me head down the trail. Right, I'll use that as my closeout shot for the video, I think. Yeah, it's nice to see these nice new signs, these brown signs there. We got way more trail marking up in here now. It's nice to see it actually, because it's a lot of these old signs. If you look at these are horrendous. These bloody things are horrendous, right? So look at the scale. I mean, that is about, what are we, 8 to 10? Well, this road from there to the top is 10.2 kilometers. So it gives you an idea of the concept of scale of this Mustang. Where I went today was about here, and then off up the valley, up this way to probably about here somewhere. Yeah. And then the mountain range goes down across there. So yes, it is considerably cleaner up in there than it was before. Just shows you how quickly the trail moves, doesn't it? That was the trail right there, and it's now not. Yeah. Right, so we will call that it. Thank you for coming along. Whew, I can't wait to get these boots off. There's another little bridge down here that tends to get overgrown with willows, so I'm just going to nip along there while I'm there and have a quick look at that one. Right, thanks for coming along. Right, a little bit of bonus footage here. Yeah, this bridge that I normally have to clean a whole bunch of crap off, it's usually covered in willow and all this kind of stuff, it's actually good. I did give it a really good hard cut back there the other year. But this is the new bridge. The old bridge is smashed to pieces down there. I can still see that the rock baskets over on the side there, see them? Yeah, that's where the bridge used to be, but the floods of 2013 seem to take care of that. Yeah. Oh, what a bargain. I brought my nippers down and I thought, oh, I'll have to cut out a bunch of this. I cut all this right back here. These bushes were really way up. Look at that. Nice, eh? Yeah, a bit of bonus footage. And a bonus for me means I can actually just go home now and sit down and relax. Right, that is the end of my video. Thanks for coming along. I thought I was going to have to do some more cutting here, but perfect. Excellent. On I go.